Hi, I'm Heather Martinson. I'm so glad you're here today for session 11 of the Reignite Learning System. Today we're talking about celebrating achievements. But before we get started on that, let's review or follow up on the last assignment, which was to do a project, of course. Um, Perhaps a 6-week project, or maybe even make your room of your home into a wonderland and let the kids really dive deep in that and have fun with that. Let us know how it turned out for you and what kind of adventures you had. You can even upload pictures. I'd love to see pictures in our community of what you've been able to do with your kids. So and then we can share with one another. It'd be great. So let me go ahead and pull up my um, presentation. Here we are. Celebrating achievements. This is after all 5 steps. So step 1 is introducing exciting themes to get kids excited about learning. Step 2 is fascinating discoveries, going out or going to the library, discovering new things. Step 3 is engaging projects, what you do with those things that you've discovered. Step 4 is the fuel with reading, writing, and math, keeping those things on the ready, right? And then step 5 is igniting genius, helping the children just really get excited and dive deep with all of their learning experiences. So after all 5 steps, then it's time to celebrate. And this is when you have the opportunity. It's not just playing high five. I mean, you can do that, sure, but it's more than that. It is actually taking some time out to recognize all the things that have been done over the period of time, and making sure the child knows that their efforts have been appreciated and that they're valuable. So, and of course, we do it because it's fun. I mean, the kids just love a lot of times, because we tend to do a concept for about 6 weeks, not a topic, but a like a component where there's several topics within a component where they're all bound together with a larger concept. And sometimes after a period of time, a concept can start to feel dull. But if we're working up towards something that's fun and exciting, then it keeps the inertia going throughout the entire component. So it's a lot of fun. And of course, we have a celebration to culminate a component, to like send it out with a bang, right? And it's a lot of fun. And of course, to recognize success, because everything that your child has done over their learning time, for their learning experiences, is a success, even if it's little tiny things, or if it's big things, if it's something that doesn't make sense to you, but for them it was. If they're proud that they've done it, then it counts. It is an accomplishment. So, and also by having these celebrations, it's actually a way to document the learning that happened, because you're keeping track um, when you get together at the end of a component and you look back over the previous, usually 6 weeks for me. I always run them 6 weeks at a time. You look back over the past 6 weeks and you think about all the things that you've done. You're taking pictures, you're celebrating accomplishments, and all of those things can go into your journal, can go into your photo albums. Whatever you do, it's all part of their living and learning experience, and so it helps to document the things that you're doing um, as you're learning these authentic ways. And of course, it's an opportunity for the kids to do presentations to show off what they've been learning. If they're doing a 6-week project, or if it's just things that they learned about along the way, and even the small fireworks sometimes can create pretty dynamic things that they'd be excited to show off. And they're allowed to show off anything that they are personally proud of, even if you think it was just like, what, that's not even, doesn't even look good, or it's not even done as good as you can do it. If they're proud of it, that means it's something that did take them to stretch. They feel a sense of accomplishment because it was something that caused them to stretch just a little bit, and they're really proud of the fact that they were able to do it. They surprised themselves, right? And you want to confirm to them that they did a great job. So anything that the child is proud of, you're going to say, right on, excellent. So, and like I said, we tend to do celebrations every 6 weeks. to reinforce the things that they learn periodically. If you go longer than that, it just seems like you start to lose some of the goodness that you had at the beginning of the component. If you a shorter time, it feels like you're always celebrating and it's just overdone. So 6 weeks tends to be a sweet spot. And I encourage, if you're to do celebrations with friends, you can find others in the homeschool community, and you guys can get together and do some presentations and share in the excitement and recognition. These three girls were doing a report on presidents. I want to back up just a little bit. Let's see, because some of the pictures, this girl, she did an entire report on slime. I mean, she got into the science of it and everything. And there's all these different kinds of slime and the different chemicals. And I mean, they're not chemicals like that are dangerous for her. But there were ones that she knew, she understood the reactions and that sort of thing. I think that's as far as back as, oh yeah, this was just a worksheet really that he filled out. He drew a picture and wrote a description. This girl did a report on peacocks. And this is not one of my pictures. Okay, so I'll go back forward again. So, and since you're having these events, you can invite family members or friends, whoever you'd like to invite to see these things, that your child showing off what they know and have been experiencing, and to share that experience with, I put grandparents here because it's a lot of times grandparents would love to be invited to a special event with their kids. If you're homeschooling, you don't have the big assemblies that they do at the schools, but these are still opportunities for your child to shine and show off what they're working on. So, and because we have a theme for the whole year, each of our celebrations have a theme. This one picture here shows off, one year we kicked off an entire Harry Potter year, and the kids dressed up for it. It was a lot of fun. And a lot of times we will combine a celebration with a field trip. This event here was, we were kicking off our year on Heroes, which was several different classic books that the children read. The first one was the Odyssey, and the Odyssey is about a hero that goes on an adventure on a boat. So we went on a boat adventure to kick off our year. Right. So we often had at the beginning and the end of the year and every 6 weeks in between. So we have, I always write our themes with 5 6-week components. And so then we have a celebration in between each of those components, plus one at the beginning, and one after each component. So a total of 6 celebrations in the whole year, usually. Sometimes a little bit more, sometimes a little bit less, depending on what the theme, what lends to the theme. So, and what do you do in your celebrations? There's no set rules as to what you do. And it depends, of course, on how many people you're going to have in your celebration. If it's just you and your child, it's going to be simple, right? But if you're going to be doing it with friends and inviting family over, you want to have more of a program prepared. So this is a program that I tend to do for our celebrations, where we start out where all the kids get to do a craft together. And then we do some type of review game, like a Jeopardy game or a hunting game to look for clues for something. This kind of experience to just review the things that they've been learning over the past 6 weeks. And then we have an opportunity for the kids to do their presentations. Each child can share things that they're proud of, and also a lot of times when we're running classes, the classes will prepare something, a presentation they will do together. So that's a lot of fun. This picture here shows our kickoff for Around the World in 80 Days theme. And so each of the kids received a blow up globe. The boy in the middle in the green shirt, that's my youngest. This was years ago. He's a big boy now. Oh, so now I just want to go over a whole bunch of other pictures from other celebrations. This was our Leonardo da Vinci one year, and we had him welcome each of the children to his bottega, where they each will be trained in the arts and in the sciences. And he invited each one individually and gave each one a certificate to start the year. Congratulations, you've been accepted into the Bottega. This was the start of a different Night at the Museum year, not this year. And these kids were doing, I don't know if you remember in the Night at the Museum, there was the thinker did something like boom, boom, firepower. You know, he just did this thing, and that's what all these kids are doing. And that was cute. So that was to kick off that year. This was another Leonardo year. If you can see the picture up in the top left corner is a different man came as our Leonardo that year. In the red sweater is my youngest son. The two in the front, they are using the paintbrushes that Leonardo gave them as weapons. And the boy in the green shirt is my one of my other boys. This picture, I know it's super blurry, but I love it. And so I wanted to share it with you. This is yet a third Leonardo that we've had. We've done the Leonardo theme several times, or at least three, I guess. But this was our very first year. And our very first year, we did a Leonardo theme. And so the man on the left is, he came dressed as Leonardo da Vinci for us. Now, the two boys are, one in the middle is my oldest son, and he and his friend there are dressed up as Bill and Ted from Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. And the reason why we have all three of these together is because as we were finishing up the Leonardo year, we went ahead and introduced the new year, and we had Bill and Ted come on and kidnap Leonardo da Vinci, and to bring him, of course, they were going to be studying him. So that's what that was. And I just remembered, I'm sorry, I'm backing up again. I'm all over the place. That's okay. We'll be fine. Because I don't think I finished going through this list. So a review game, presentations by kids, then introducing the next component or the next year, depending on what you're just finishing up. We like to do some party games, some games where the kids are running. And then we always end with refreshments. You can bring them yourselves, or you can have families bring refreshments. If your component has been based on different types of cultures or something, it's a lot of times it's fun to have the families bring in foods that represent different cultures. Okay, so back to these pictures. This is one of my favorite years. This was another kickoff for Night at the Museum year. I actually paid somebody to come and be this puppet. I mean, there's a person inside this dinosaur to make it go, and the children got to meet T-Rex. And this was held at a small zoo in Santa Ana, and the T-Rex spent about a half hour, 45 minutes with all the students. They all got pictures with the T-Rex, and it was a great experience to just kick off that year, because as you know, there's a T-Rex in the Night at the Museum movies. Of course, that one's all bones. This one's got meat on it. But it was a lot of fun. I mean, you don't have to go this far. It's easier to do when you have a number of families, then everyone's pitching in a little bit, and then it's not expensive. But if you want to keep it simple, you certainly can. A friend of mine, she would hold her celebrations were just her and her two friends, and all of their kids together, and they did this for while the kids were growing up, all year after year after year, and it was just done in their home, and it was simple. And they would keep the theme secret from their kids all summer long, and the kids didn't know what the theme was going to be in the fall, and then until they would have this great reveal where they're like, this is what our theme is, and the kids get super excited and get new school supplies that go with the theme, and it's just a great way to kick off the year. And then they end the year where they would put all out in their home, a whole bunch of different materials set out for people to come and browse. I went to one of these because they made it like an open house. And so I went there and I browsed through the children's journals and their keepsakes and some of the things that they wrote. And one of them made rose water out of real roses. I mean, just various things and projects that they had worked on that they were excited to show off, and that was great. It was a really good experience. So you got this. It really is not that hard to celebrate your children, and keep it simple as necessary, but help them to feel good about the things that they're learning and get excited about the things that they will be learning. And it's just a wonderful opportunity for you and your kids to bond and grow together. So that is what I'm encouraging. And of course, one of the things too that I mentioned at the beginning that doing these celebrations helps you. Am I frozen? Okay. Doing these celebrations helps you keep track of the things that you're doing throughout the year, and you know kids in school, they do worksheets, and a whole year's worth of worksheets are very uninteresting. You throw them away, right? But these are the experiences that you can have with your kids that will be lifelong memories, and of course those memories are going along with the experiences that they have, the learning experiences that they had, the things that they're not only remembering the experiences, but the things they learned within those experiences. So it helps the learning last longer. It's a wonderful opportunity, and it shows you a lot of times, because we've been so conditioned to see schooling as um, you know hitting the books, the worksheets, the textbooks, and the raising the hand, all of that. And when you take all that away, sometimes moms feel like they're not doing any school, when this type of learning is not only a legitimate way of learning, but also a more powerful way of learning. And so, but it's not as easy to record, it's not as easy to grade, but you can keep track. You take the photos, you save certain memorabilia from the things the children have created, but they will be remembered for a lot longer. And you can look back over time and say, yes, I did those things. And yes, it was wonderful. We had a great time. And I'm looking forward to doing more. So that's what I'm encouraging for you guys. So your homework for this time is to do a celebration, of course. And with the Alice in Wonderland theme, of course, what about a tea party? That'd be so wonderful. And have your children help you prepare it and put it together. And what features do they want in the tea party? And in what ways can they show off what they've been learning over the last few while they've been exploring Alice in Wonderland? And if tea party doesn't do it for you, or you could just plan a holiday party, for whatever holiday is coming up. Have them help you decorate the home, plan the food, invite guests, and so forth, and make it a celebration of all the things that they've been learning. The celebration itself is a learning experience, right? So that is actually it. And next session is the very last of our regular sessions. It is all about empowering lifelong learners. It's pulling everything together, and lots of encouragement for you guys. So that's it for now, and I'll see you next time. Bye.